where was it? Yes, it was from Alton Foster. So if you're still here, sorry I missed the chat. Again, guys, because I am hosting a good and dear friend to the channel, Adam, tonight, I'm not going to be as good with keeping up with the chat, so I'm going to do the very best that I can. If you shoot questions towards us, that would probably be best. So he asked, do you think Captain Marvel will make $650 million domestic? No. I hope you meant worldwide, because there's no chance in hell it's making 650 domestic. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. So since we're going down this rabbit hole, since it was one of my topics, just not quite framed that way. Yeah. So here's what I'm going to say, because the movie's not here, so this is all speculation, of course. But let's say, just on a slight chance that the movie doesn't suck and go full SJW. Okay, let's just say it doesn't, and that they're just playing all these little bits of the movie to get everybody upright, and I'm not going to go see it. And it turns out to be a decent movie with a backstory that's not too bad. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Maybe it'll still do good. I don't think it'll do that good.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is then, as long as we don't have the problem of Endgame having her come in and beat Thanos right away or towards the middle of the end,
yeah,
I would like to see it go the way it should go, which is Thanos kicks her butt, knocks her out, and then they relaunch Marvel with Rogue taking her powers, and they relaunched Marvel with the X-Men like they did in the 90s with the comics.
Now that would be amazing. I mean, I think everyone would be on board for that. I think that would get people to actually go. If they did that, then I would say, sure, it'll make 650. Now, just for a frame of reference, guys, if it were to make 650 million domestically, that would mean that it would be only like 20 million behind Infinity War domestically, which I, again, just don't see happening. Infinity War made 678 million domestically. Captain Marvel there's no chance in hell that it's going to make that much. And one of the reasons why I think that, and that's why I'm kind of, and maybe Adam, you might have some thoughts on this. Why do you think that in whatever crazy decision-making process that they had, that they would make Captain Marvel come out 1 month before Avengers Endgame, which is arguably going to be the biggest movie of the year? Like, why do you think they set it a month out?
I mean, it really makes me wonder. That's why I'm kind of saying, let's say they do this. I mean, Brie Larson, I don't like what we've seen. I think some of the funny videos that have come from there have been better. But in all honesty, we've only seen trailers. We've not seen the film. So let's say somehow, by some miracle, they actually do a good movie. Because so far, they really haven't really dropped the ball at all on Marvel's side.
Yeah.
And let's say it's just a kind of a prequel, gives more of her story. And then that movie ends maybe with it jumping into Endgame.
Yeah.
Because you know how we had it where they would kind of build up. That could be the only reason I could see it, because then you'd have 2 months of them making a crap ton of money.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, just for the record, too, like, because I see someone, I think it was Bjorn. Yeah, Bjorn says Captain Marvel can make 650. We're talking domestically. Like, we're not talking worldwide. Yes, I think it's absolutely within reason that Captain Marvel can make that much money. Is it going to make that much money worldwide? I still have my doubts about that because of the proximity. Basically, it has a month to be able to make a crap ton of money before Endgame just takes it all. Like, because once Endgame's out, no one's seeing Captain Marvel. There's just no way. And the whole month going out, from my perspective, is people, especially now that it costs so much to go see a movie. I mean, in New York alone, it costs like $20 just to see a regular movie, not 3D or anything. And people are going to be very careful with how they spend. A lot of people who see movies only see like 2 or 3 movies a year for the most part. And so if you put between them, if I'm going to see Captain Marvel or am I going to say for Endgame, they're going to go and pay for Endgame instead. And that's the reason why I think having it a month out is very risky. And part of me suspects that either one, they don't think it's going to do that well, so they'd rather have an excuse as to why it might not do that well, saying, well, it was a month out and that was our mistake. Or two, they must have that much confidence that they think that's going to make bank on top of Endgame. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But just from a frame of reference too, guys, the Avengers, because just to get I'm going to put to bed the whole Captain Marvel is going to make 650 million domestically. The first Avengers film made 623 million domestically. Age of Ultron made 459 domestically. So there is just, I cannot see any path forward for that film to make that much money domestically. Worldwide, that's a different story. I don't think it's going to crack $1 billion. Do you think that Captain Marvel is going to crack $1 billion, Adam?
No, there's no way. Not with the way that they're doing it, because there's not enough time frame. Like you said, Endgame is going to come out and everybody's going to be all over that. Like I said, if they do the story right, and of course we're all assuming off of what we have seen that it's going to suck.
Yeah.
By some miracle, if it doesn't, I don't see it making that much. Not when you've got, unless it's less than a month, we have Endgame, and that's what everybody's going for. Unless they change their mind and push Endgame back for some unknown reason that we don't see.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a bigger shot in the foot.
Yeah, and I just don't see them doing that because, I mean, Infinity War had that April release, and guess what? It made over $2 billion. I mean, and I think they see the same writing on the wall with this film, because I think Endgame could either match, if not exceed, what Infinity War brought in, just because of how big that movie was. And again, I'm not trying to say that Captain Marvel is not going to make anything. So Bjorn also corrected me saying, oh no, I said it's going to make $650, period. Which, yes, of course, it's going to make at least that much money. Right now, my range, if I had to give a range, and I'll ask for yours in a second, Adam, if I had to give a range for how much money I think that Captain Marvel is going to make worldwide, so domestic and foreign totals, I would say right now it's between 450 and 850. So around a $400 million range. I think on the low end, 450, high end, 850 million, and I don't see it reaching $1 billion. What would your range be, Adam?
My range is it'll make more than the worst movie ever, The Last Jedi. As long as it beats that.
That's 1.3 billion, dude.
Good enough movie that it beats that, then there you go.
But that would mean it has to make over $1 billion, and I just don't think it's going to have it in it. Aquaman does.
It's hard
Aquaman can
do that. I still got to root for the underdog, just because, even though I don't want to see Captain Tuna Box, I want to see it beat The Last Jedi.
Yeah. And also, Super, just again to make very clear to people, because I think there's some confusion, the numbers that we've been talking about for the most part have been domestic numbers, meaning United States. When you add in, like, because Avengers, the first Avengers film made over $1 billion. Like, I think every Avengers film so far up to this point, let me just double check that, because I know Infinity War has, and yeah, every Avengers movie so far has made over $1 billion, with Age of Ultron bringing in 1.4, the first one bringing in 1.5, and then of course Infinity War bringing in $2 billion. So every Avengers film has been very successful at this point, and also, as you've heard from those numbers, has made more than The Last Jedi, which I think makes everyone on this channel very, very happy. And also, both Super and Kiko Rogers suspect $350 to $400 million. Worldwide, I could see a world where that could happen. However, I think they already are, they're going to market the crap out of this movie. The fact that just like 2 days ago, and I shared this on Twitter, I got a notification that tickets had already gone on sale, tells me that they are going to try, and of course, the narrative is going to come out, oh my god, it's outpacing Black Panther, oh my god, it set a new record, and they're going to try and spin it as best they can. But at the end of the day, I think that there's definitely a ceiling for the film, and I think because of the fact that it's only going to have a month window to make its money, I think that, because a lot of films, as I've mentioned this in videos before, most movies, most blockbusters make around 60% of their entire total in the first 2 weeks. Will Gentry says, oh, and that's why they are releasing them a month apart, so that if Captain Marvel makes no money, they can use the, oh, it was only out for a month argument. And that is my speculation. It's totally conspiracy theory at this point, because there is no actual evidence other than the actual dates themselves. But I think it makes sense. I really do. And I just want to check a number really quick, because, let's see, Japan gave, maybe won't, Batman v Superman in Japan made 16 million, so maybe 100 million is a little much, maybe a little much. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, in a world that makes no sense, it makes sense. So You know, I mean, we're talking numbers, and it's gonna depend on all the markets, of course.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, they have a chance of making money. I just feel the same way you do. It's kind of the same as what, Ryan Roundhead Has No Johnson did. Oh, I want to split, the group up so that half like it and half hate it. Okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to make this movie, but a month later we're going to drop the big bombshell everybody's been waiting to see, so nobody goes and sees the movie.
Yeah.
So to me, it's almost the same thing. Instead of just making a whole, they're going to make money, but they're not going to make as much if the movie's as good as it could be.
Yeah.
By putting it with Endgame, a month away. So yeah, I don't see that happening.
Yeah. So the reason also why 650 million is not realistic is because that would make it the third highest grossing film domestically, at least if you adjust for ticket price inflation. If you were to take the numbers as is, it would still also be the third highest domestic gross total, edging out the first Avengers film, Age of Ultron, Iron Man 3, Civil War, Guardians 2, etc. And I just don't see it. Looking at these numbers, I think, seeing that this is going to be, at least what it seems, it should be, in essence, more of a Guardians type film because it's dealing a lot with different planets, aliens, etc. So, to me, that seems to be a good indicator of what this film likely will do domestically. And Guardians 2 made 389, Guardians 1 made 333 million domestically. So that seems to me more likely of a situation of it making that much, in which case, if it is indeed that much, then the film very likely will tap out before $1 billion. That seems to make the most sense to me. What do you think about that, Adam, as far as where you think it's going to line up with? So just give you some numbers. Black Panther was 700 million domestically. Infinity War was 678. Avengers 1 was 623. And then Ultron was 459. Do you think that it's going to fall anywhere up there domestically, or do you think it's going to be lower?
I mean, with everybody being pissed, probably a little lower.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Just because there's okay, look at your average moviegoer that is now so turned off by what's on TV and movies anymore. People are just like, I'm not going to give my money to be yelled at all the time and be told that I'm a Nazi, some sort of ism, just because I don't like a movie.
Yeah.
Their products have gone downhill when it comes to people buying them because everybody's tired of it. You still have some people that still buy things, but I don't think the collectors are buying anywhere near like they used to. I mean, we've had proof of that. It's little kids, parents with little kids that are still buying stuff for them because they might like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sales have gone down. The movies have gone down. So yeah, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. And Laura made a great comment saying, Odin, can I go all prices right and bet the movie will make $1? Yes, you can.
Yes, you
and
can.
if it makes less than that, then you will be indeed the winner there. But yeah, so as far as the final number for Captain Marvel, I see it tapping out before $1 billion, and I suspect it's going to be between the $450 and $850 million range, because it really, again, depends on how ticked off people are. And also, if Brie Larson can shut up, then it's going to do better. If she keeps talking and she keeps trying to bring in some kind of political messaging to the movie, then it's going to hurt the film. I mean, that's just poison and it's a way to drive fans away. That's what we've seen happen with Star Wars, and that's the reason why the Solo just lost so much money at the very end of it, was because of that reason. So they would be very smart to do that.